Me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lauren, would you do the roll, please?
Yes. Chairman David Leland,
Here.
Vice Chair Ross Tillingford,
Here.
Commissioner June Perrin, Commissioner Philip Marquis,
Here.
Commissioner Ray Nazareth,
Here.
Adam Miller, alternate 1, and Gary Specht, alternate 2.
Mitty? You want me to swear in?
Do you want to do minutes first?
We can do the minutes first. Okay, so I need to get in a motion to approve the minutes from the October 22nd Planning and Zoning meeting. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 22nd meeting.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes passed.
And now if we could have, all these items on tonight's agenda are quasi judicial. If anybody in the audience speaking on any of the items on tonight's agenda could raise your right hands for me, I'm going to swear you in. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then, Mitty, you want to do the ex parte?
If you could read that first application into the record first.
Okay.
Thank you.
The first item on the agenda for tonight is application number 19-0072, the Moore residence.
Yep. If
Oh,
you could,
I want to remind everybody, too, if you are going to be speaking tonight, we're allowing 3 minutes. We don't want to get these too long-winded as we've had before.
and before Bradford presents, I will turn to the commission and ask if there are any ex parte communications with regard to 19-0072 that need to be disclosed.
No.
Thank you. And hearing none, if I could also just clarify that the 3 minutes is typically limited to the public comment portion.
Correct.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. The applicant, Daniel Moore, is requesting a variance from section 2679 4D setbacks for an existing pergola with a 1.5-foot side yard setback and a 1-foot rear yard setback, where village code requires a 7.5-foot setback, side yard setback, and a 15-foot rear yard setback. The applicant asserts that the reduced setback is necessary because of the layout of all existing structures on the property. In particular, the applicant states that the pergola was constructed on an existing concrete slab. The applicant contends that the pergola is needed because there are no shade in the yard and without the pergola. The applicant further asserts that this is a minimum variance that will allow for reasonable use of the property and prevent village code from denying the applicant an amenity commonly enjoyed by other properties. Village Code Section 2632 F6 allows Village Council to grant variance, or this board to recommend variances to code when special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, do not result from the actions of the applicant, will not confer on the applicant any special privileges. A literal interpretation of the provisions of this division would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties, will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of this division, and will not be injurious to the area involved or detrimental to the public welfare. Staff is not in support of the variance request because staff believes that no special conditions or circumstances exist. The condition is a result from the actions of the applicant and will confer on the applicant special privileges that are denied to other lands. And the literal interpretation of the code does not deprive the applicant the rights enjoyed by other lands in the same zoning district, not the minimum variance necessary to allow reasonable use of the property. These are the criteria that staff must review these applications, and that's what we base our recommendation on. These are very strict guidelines. We don't have the latitude that this board may take in order to make your decision. I just wanted to make that clear up front. So staff is recommending denial. The applicant did provide us with 3. Let me show you the location of the pergola. The pergola is located here on this slide. in this corner of the property. Here is a illustration of the pergola, and as you can see, it does not have a traditional roof. You know, you have what seems to be some lattice work, which when we talk setbacks, those setbacks are to reduce massing. You know, a full non-see-through type of structure. In this case, you can actually see through, and your visual corridor isn't blocked by a opaque roof. This is lattice work. And like I said, they did receive letters from each property owner to either side of this home, and they said they had no objection to this pergola. They thought that it was a good addition to the neighborhood. And then there was an individual across the street that also provided a letter that was in support of this variance request. And with that being said, I'll turn the floor back over to you.
Thank you. Obviously, the homeowner is here. Would you like to present?
I think they're just going to make themselves available to answer any questions that you guys may have.
Okay, then I'll open it up. Any other comments from the public? All right, let's go to the commissioners. Ross?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't have any comments or questions.
Ray?
No comments or questions.
Philip? June?
I just see that the neighbor next door has a shed also on the other side of the fence, and they have no problems with this being there, okay.
One of the letters actually came from them as well.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Okay, good. No other questions, thank you.
And there's an existing concrete slab?
Yes. That was there when I purchased the house 3 years.
Can we get you guys, I'm sorry, can we get you guys on the
Come up here,
record
yeah.
so that,
Sorry.
thank you.
Yes, the concrete slab was there when I purchased the house 3 years ago.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have any further questions then either. Do we have a motion to make the variance or motion to deny?
I'll make a motion to approve application 19-0072.
I'll second.
And I would probably feel differently had the slab not been there when you bought the house, because this board commission is being put on the spot all too often for forgiveness rather than for doing it the correct way. I myself had a shed in the setback for 26 years, and when the hurricane blew my fence down at my home, I had to move it. So I get it.
I would not have built it there if that
If
thing
it's-
wasn't there, you know, I didn't know about
Right,
the rules, if you will.
All right, we have a
I'd like to
motion
make
and a
a
second.
comment.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. Motion carries 4-1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
folks.
Next item on the agenda is application number 19-0079, the Maffitt residence. Did I pronounce that right?
Yes, and I'll turn back while Bradford's getting ready. I'll turn back and ask the commission if there are any ex parte communications with regard to 19-0079 that need to be disclosed.
No?
Hearing none.
Okay. The applicant is requesting a variance from section 2679 4D setbacks for an existing pergola to allow for a 1.16-foot rear yard setback, where village code requires a 20-foot rear yard setback for a variance of 8.4 feet. In addition, the applicant is seeking variance from resolution 9539 to allow for an 8.6-foot encroachment into a 20-foot lake maintenance easement, where the resolution allows for a 7-foot encroachment for a 1.6-foot variance. The applicant asserts that the reduced setback is necessary because of the layout of the existing structures on the property. In particular, the applicant states that the pergola was constructed at the end of the existing pool. The applicant contends that the pergola is a support structure for a host of plants and butterflies. The plants and vines provide a source of food and nectar for the native pollinator insects, which improves the environment. The applicant further asserts that this is a minimum variance that will allow reasonable use of the property and prevent village code from denying the application and amenity commonly enjoyed by other property owners. This is the criteria that we use to evaluate this variance request. That criteria is special conditions and circumstances exist which are peculiar to the land, do not result from the actions of the applicant, will not confer on the applicant any special privileges. A literal interpretation of the provisions of the division would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties. Will be in harmony with the general intent and purpose of the division, and will not be injurious to the area involved or detrimental to the public welfare. Staff is not in support of this variance. No special conditions or circumstances that we could find exist, which are not applicable to other lands. The condition is a result of actions of the applicant, will confer on the applicant special privileges that are denied to other lands. Literal interpretation of the code does not deprive the applicant of the rights enjoyed by other lands in the same zoning district and is not the minimum variance necessary to allow reasonable use of the property. Again, we use the strict criteria that our code provides. We're in a box whenever we make these recommendations, unlike this board here. We did receive a letter from the applicant, from one of the neighbors who stated that they did not have an issue with this pergola in its location. And if you look at this slide here, it shows the location of the pergola. And the location, let me go back a couple of slides. So this is the property itself. And as you can see, the pergola is located somewhere in this vicinity. And if you look to see which neighbors they would be affecting, may affect a few fish, maybe a turtle on the rear property line. So some things to consider whenever you're evaluating this variance request. And with that being said, I'll turn the floor back over to you. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? No. Any comments from the public, neighbors? No. Well, then I'll go to our commission. Any questions, Ray?
None at this time. No comments.
Philip?
Nothing from me.
Jim?
No, I only like the fact that it's for the plants and the vines and provides the source of food and nectar for native pollination insects, which is very good for our environment. Thank you. That's it.
No, I don't think so. There is some encroachment into the easement for the lake. Is that an issue of any sort in terms of access or maintenance access?
Right. What we have is, in our permit section, we have a easement agreement where whoever is constructing this structure will recognize in their permit that if the full easement is needed, then there's every right to demolish or go through that structure. And a lot of times it's fences. And with the construction of this pergola, wood and concrete, cemented in concrete is to me no different than a fence post in concrete. It's very similar materials, very similar construction. They would do the same thing with this pergola, and the applicant would have to then do the affidavit, recognize that if that whole complete 20 feet is needed, then it can be taken down.
And it is an existing pergola.
It's existing currently, right?
Thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
That was going to be my question, that we have it written that it's all on them if something should happen.
Right.
And we need that easement.
Correct.
Okay. All right, then. Can I get a motion to approve application number 19-0079?
I'd like to make a motion to approve 19-0079 as read.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? All right. Application number 19-0079 passes. Next item on the agenda is application number 19-0081, Arby's.
And before Bradford begins his presentation, I'll ask the commission if there are any ex parte communications with regard to 19-0081 that need to be disclosed. Thank you.
Great, thank you. The applicant is requesting architectural approval for architectural changes and repainting of the existing Arby's restaurant located at 9970 Belvedere Road and within the Sawgrass Center. The applicant is proposing to utilize the following colors: Sherwin-Williams number 2808, Rockwood Dark Brown, number 6869, Stop Red, and number 7024, Functional Gray, and number 7005, Pure White. The elevation drawings provided by the applicant, shown here on this slide, are showing the colors and the materials that will be part of the, what they term the reskinning of this building. The applicant is also requesting some architectural changes, which are some of these little elevation lifts to the roof line. And staff is recommending approval of this application. You know, we've seen a few of these come through. It's, there's a rebranding going on with a lot of our fast food restaurants, which is refreshing in a sense. And I'll turn the floor back over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. As an overall commission, we're always for cleaning up our areas, and especially commercial properties, and sprucing them up, as we say. Is the applicant present? No, I'll speak on his behalf. Okay, please step up. State your name.
My name is Jose A. Gordillo III, speaking on behalf of the architect, also Jose Gordillo. He's my father. Unfortunately, there was a family emergency, and he was requested to go be with his father in Guatemala. So I'm here on their behalf, and Mr. Thomas Brown, the applicant, and I'm able to answer questions as best as I can.
Ross?
No comments or questions.
June?
No comments or questions.
Phil? You guys are making it easy tonight.
I have a comment, Jose. I want to commend you and your family for doing this upgrade and making our community better.
Thank you. It's
Okay.
a
And
small
also-
firm, so appreciate it.
Also, your family emergency, I hope it turns well for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, again, I can't reiterate enough that for improvement of commercial property, we're 100% for it. As long as you're not painting something fluorescent orange on Okeechobee Boulevard, you know, we're good for it. So with that said, can I get a motion to approve application number 19-0081?
If we could, before we motion, if we could check for public comment. I don't
Public
know that we
comment,
have any
right.
public in the audience. We have maybe one or two, but if we could check.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Motion to approve, I'd like to make a motion to approve application number 190081.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. The next application we have is 19-0073 for Dunkin' Donuts.
Great, thank you again. The applicant is seeking wall sign approval for an existing Dunkin' Donuts restaurant located within the Anthony Groves Plaza Shopping Center located at 171 South State Road 7, Suite 500. The applicant is requesting architectural approval for 3 wall signs, which is not here the approved sign criteria for the Anthony Groves Plaza planned commercial development. The applicant is requesting to use their trademark and logo for 1 wall sign on the excuse me, east elevation of their bay. The trademark logo consists of the word Dunkin' with an apostrophe after the letter N. The word Dunkin' is PMS 165 orange, and the apostrophe is PMS 219 pink. The applicant has provided a copy of the registered trademark for this lettering. The sign criteria in our code, I'm sorry, let me go back. The sign criteria for Anthony Groves Plaza requires tenant wall signs to be white Helvetica channel letters, and the Planning and Zoning Commission has approved other deviations from the approved sign criteria for this plaza for registered trademark. And this is a registered trademark. And our code states that it should be noted that the incorporation of identifying characteristics of certain signage such as trademarks or logos will be given strong consideration in light of the importance of such elements play within the current marketplace towards properly identifying goods and services offered on site. Therefore, staff is recommending approval of this sign. And I'll turn the floor back over to the board. Thank you.
Is the applicant present? I'm assuming not many of you left.
And Mr. Chair, if I could interrupt you, I'm sorry, to just ask if there are any ex parte communications before the applicant speaks on this item, any ex parte? No. Thank you, sir, sorry for the interruption.
Would you like to speak, or do you want to just answer questions? If either way, we need you to stand up.
I'll answer whatever questions have to be answered.
Ross? Questions?
No questions or comments.
Ray?
I like your sign, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Philip? June?
As quoted before the quota game, we like improvements that benefit the neighborhood and the commercial properties. Okay?
Perfect.
Especially with trademarks.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
we're,
Thank you.
yeah, we're all for that, so. Thank you. We didn't have any questions. Made it easy on you tonight, too. All right, so can I have a motion to approve application number 19-0073?
If we could, before we make any motions, if we could check for public comment? Anyone speaking publicly on this item? Thank you.
Sorry, Mitty.
That's okay.
I see a depleted audience tonight, so. So can I get a
You
motion?
have a motion right there.
I'll make a motion,
All right, Philip.
application 190073.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, our next meeting will be on Tuesday, December 16th.
Monday.
Oh, that is a typo, isn't it? Monday, December 16th, I stand corrected.
Bradford.
You can sit.
I do have
Bradford is,
some board business, if I could jump in.
Absolutely.
First was to remind you that it is Monday, December 16th. So mark your calendar, should be a good one. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, you got a pre-plan for us?
But we would also, on behalf of our council, like to invite you for cake and refreshments after that December 16th meeting for a little volunteer appreciation time. So we would like you all to kind of maybe stick around, set aside maybe 15, 20 minutes to, after the meeting, to stick around for, some refreshments and cake and, bask in the glory of appreciation for that time frame. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
I have a question on that, Bradford?
Yes.
So that means we're not going to have our annual regular holiday?
That is my understanding.
Okay. Just want to clarify that.
So are we all done with business?
Yes.
Well, then this meeting is adjourned till